Hello everyone, Meowman here bringing you informational Brawlhalla video this time. Seeing as how we've got Autumn Championships 1v1 in about a week from now, which is like next Sunday about, I decided to make a tier list, so let's get right to it. I've separated the list into 5 tiers. Meta, which is the top tier, like if you're picking these choices for your picks in the tournaments, you've probably got the best shot at doing it because these characters are like the best of the best, the cream of the crop kind of picks. Next tier is excellent. These characters aren't exactly the best because the meta overshadows them a little bit, but they're still insanely good though, so don't count them out. They can easily top or win an event. Third tier is solid. They're just well rounded and balanced. You can't go wrong with playing them, although there's probably better choices. Next tier is viable. This is where things are kind of more difficult to win with, but like they're still good, so you can still win with them. It'll just take more work. And tier, iffy tier is like legends that are just really bad because they have like so many things going against them, like either weapon nerfs or like signature nerfs, or like their stats don't work out very well, that kind of stuff. I mean, to be fair, every legend is viable, but characters that I put in iffy, although they are viable if you really know how to use them and master them really well, it just might not be worth the time if you can't fully commit to it. So let's get right to this list. Starting off, let's lay the foundation. I'll put a legend in each tier level first. For our first meta character, I'm going to put Kaya as first meta character. The reason being is, well, it's quite obvious because Kaya has always been a good pick throughout the years. And on top of that, she's only gotten nerfs on her bow down sig and side sig, but it's not too significant because it's just force reduction. And to top it all off, she has amazing stats. If you play strength stance on her, you have 5 strength, 7 speed, 7 defense, so you're gonna have good movement, you're gonna survive well, and you can still kill okay-ish. And the 3 dex doesn't really harm her that much. I mean, it would be nice if you had like 6 dex, because then you could do Sarah Neutralite on spear and you can do downlight into ground pound on bow, but not having the dex actually pays to her advantage because then you have more defense. And on top of that, spear has not been touched at all balance wise in a long time. Like, I mean, a really long time. Spear has stayed the same for so long. So, spear is in a good spot right now, balance wise, because a lot of stuff's gotten nerfed, but spear stayed the same. And same with bow, because bow itself, bow neutralite does the same amount of damage as like Sayer and recovery now. So that just makes it easier where you can just default to doing downlight nair on bow if you don't know what to do. Or downlight end light, I mean. Yeah. Like D-light nair, end light, and recovery and Sayer, they all do around the same damage, but recovery might do a little bit more. So if you're not sure, you can always default to neutralite as like a safety net pick. So yeah, Kaya is doing really well right now. Her weapons are the least nerfed out of any other weapon. So she has that going for her. And this is a 1v1 tier list, by the way, since I'm a 1v1 player. Okay, in the excellent tier, we've got Diana. Diana would be meta if Blasters was not nerfed. If Blasters still had the sidelight Sayer thing true, then Diana would be meta. But since Blasters got nerfed with sidelight Sayer no longer being true, that's the only reason why Diana's just excellent instead of meta. Bow is in a very good spot, Blasters not so much. But Blasters being nerfed is literally the only thing holding Diana back because she has well-rounded stats for her weapons. And you can't really go wrong with that. And her signatures pack a punch. Okay, for solid characters, I'm gonna put Barraza here. Barraza's just solid because he has good stats for surviving and dishing out damage in retaliation of getting hit himself. So having his strength and defense high is good. He can go to 5 speed with speed stance, so that's just barely enough to make things work. And his SIGs hit decently hard. Guns down SIG in particular hits super hard. Axe neutral SIG is a good reversal. Aside from those two SIGs, though, he's not that really remarkable. He's just all around pretty well balanced. It's just that blasters aren't in a good spot, so he could have been in a better spot. But as of right now, he's still a solid pick, though. So I'll just put Barraza here. In the viable pick, I'm going to put Ransom here. Ransom is now legal for play. I mean, Ransom is legal, and he does have some really cheesy signatures with, like, Chakram side sig being fast and hitting hard, and, like, Chakram down sig dealing, like, 37 damage if you hit it a certain way. But, like, if we're not counting, like, the signatures, once you get used to the signatures, then it's really just Bo that's carrying Ransom at this point, because Chakrams is not that great right now. And I have been trying to play around Chakrams for a bit now because it seems interesting. But Chakrams just doesn't have like the potential to easily take someone out with a dodge read. Because really you just need to avoid getting juggled by Chakrams and then you're good. And when you're on the wall or like off stage, just avoid Dare and then you're good. So like Chakrams, unless Chakrams gets overhauled to be better, I consider Ransom to be just viable. He's not too crazy once you can get the signatures down. I mean, Bo is really propping him up, but that's about it. In the iffy, this is where things get rather concerning. Lord Vrax is in the iffy tier. I mean, I do like 9 Dex Lance, don't get me wrong, but Lance is not in a good spot right now, especially with the new movement dash and all of that. It's so hard to catch landings with Lance, and even though with Vrax, neutral Sig is good for catching landings, same with side Sig, but like once they know how to deal with your signatures, or like know how to anticipate and like get around them, Lord Vrax is not doing very much, and you're not dealing very much damage since you have 4 strength, and you're not taking very much since you have 4 defense. And Blaster's got nerfed, so you have 2 things going against you. 3 things. You have stats going against you, you have Lance going against you, you have Blaster nerfs going against you. So yeah, and you only got buffs for Vrax's signatures, so if you're not landing the signatures, you're in a rough spot with Lord Vrax, and that's why he's in the iffy tier. Now, without further ado, let's continue the tier list. I'm going to put Ada in solid ahead of Barraza. Ada has Spear. She's got 6 dex, 6 strength, 6 speed. Everything you've got to make Spear work, but base 3 defense is a big issue. So you're playing defense stance for sure, you're at 4. So that means you have Spear, which is a great weapon, untouched by balance. And you've got an amazing Spear kit with the SIGs too. Neutral SIG hits like a truck and it's pretty much confirms with no dodge off of D-Light and Side Light. But the issue is Blaster's seen better days. And on top of that, you have low defense, so the very moment that things start not working out for you, then you're pretty much screwed as Ada. So that's the only thing that's keeping Ada from being excellent. Arcadia. I'm going to put Arcadia in solid, but worse than Barraza and Ada. The reason being is just simply because Arcadia is just like another Ada. But except, if you get 5 defense, then you have 4 speeds. That's bad. But if you get 5 speed, then you have 4 defense but 6 strength, and 7 dex, and you don't really need 7 dex. So it's just a bad distribution of stats. And Greatsword is really feast or famine with Greatsword. You're either going to do really well or really poorly with Greatsword, so there's that. The signatures are interesting, but they're not over the top, so you can't really cheese with SIGs alone. But it is nice to have neutral SIGs that hit grounded on both weapons, so there's that. The down SIGs are somewhat predictable, but if you can land them, then you're off to the races. But if you can't land the down SIGs, then that's when you start noticing that Arcadia is not the best choice unless you can land the down SIGs very well, or you can play your weapons astonishingly well. Artemis is in the excellent tier behind Diana. It's just Lance that's holding Artemis back, but since your Lance side sig on Artemis is so good that it kind of compensates for the weakness of Lance being bad at catching landings. And Scythe got nerfed quite a bit, but you have good stats for Scythe, and the SIGs on Artemis' Scythe are really good. So she's not dropping too far down from the list. She's still an excellent pick. Probably one of the best choices to play Lance with at the moment. Asuri. Asuri is an excellent pick. She's everything you want out of a fast frame data character. It's just that her SIGs are kind of slow compared to her attacks. But like, let's see. Yeah, it's just Qatar side SIG that's slow. And sword down SIG that's slow. Everything else is fast about her, so that's good. But like, sword's seen better days. Qatar's still good. It's just her stats could have been better, but it could have been way worse, so we can live with that. Azoth is really good in the solid. He's got good weapons, don't get me wrong. Axe and bow, they both cover space really well. And Azoth's signature kit in particular is really good at catching landings. And bow down sig on Azoth got buffed to be faster, so that's good too. It's just that you kind of wish that he had less dex and more points put into other stats. Then he'd be excellent. But he's just a solid character. I mean, if you can land the SIGs, then he'd be excellent, but you can't count on SIGs alone, so he's here. And also, Axe neutral SIG on Azoth is so good. Axe down SIG is too, but it sometimes drops. And of course, bow side SIG lasts a long time, so there's that. Bodvar. Bodvar's kind of on the lower end of excellent. I mean, the biggest draw to Bodvar is that you're never at a shortage of kill options. Both weapons kill really well, and they can build up damage really well. And you've always got that going for you. His signatures are pretty easy to use. There's just nothing wrong with Bodvar. It's just Bodvar would be so much better in the excellent tier, like up here, close to Diana, if you can go down to like 4 dex Bodvar or something like that. But you can only go down to 5 dex Bodvar for Strength Stance, which is not bad, but could have been better. But anyways, having sword and hammer together means you're never going to struggle killing, so you'll always have that advantage over a lot of characters. But you might struggle in like certain matchups like Scythe or Katars. But if you can overcome those, then he's definitely an excellent pick. I don't want to sound dumb. I want to put Brynn in solid, but she's excellent because she's got base 7 speed and everything else is 5, so you can modify her however you want. So she has the flexibility in her stats and flexibility in her light attack kit, but her SIGs are just really sluggish. Like, outside of like spear down SIG or like axe neutral SIG, the rest of her SIGs are so painfully slow. And neutral SIG is hard to land because it's so narrow. If you can work with her SIGs, then she's excellent. But if you can't work with her SIGs, she's just solid. But I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because a lot of people play her and she's pretty good. It's just you got to work with the SIGs. As a SIG heavy player, I really struggle with making Bryn work unless I just play light attacks only. But then at that point, I'm just playing Spear Vector. Caspian. Caspian's excellent. I would say he's excellent mostly because he has SIGs that hit like a truck with good disjoint and range, and they're pretty easy to spam too. Like Qatar's side SIG is such a easy move to throw out, and Gauntlet's neutral SIG too. And Gauntlet's side SIG has amazing reversal potential. It's just that you have to deal with like the matchups with like long range, but if you can overcome the matchups, he's really good. And you can opt for like high speed to play Gimpy, or you can just play high strength with strength stance. Yeah, speed or strength stance, you can go with that for Caspian and make it work. Cassidy is surprisingly still meta. Hammer's in a good spot, and nothing's been changed about Cassidy aside from the Blaster Sidelight Sarah nerf. But aside from that, everything that's been great about her last patch is still there. Nothing's been changed pretty much other than Sidelight Sarah on Blasters. So she's amazing. And also downlight N-Sig on Hammer is annoying. And like none of her SIGs are bad too. Cross. Cross is just solid in ones. He has amazing stats. Like 8 strength blasters is nothing to scoff at. And if you play speed stance, you just have great stats all around. It's just that his SIGs aren't that great. But the stats themselves are pretty good and the weapon combination's not bad. Dusk. I'm not sure whether Dusk is meta or not. I'm going to say he's just excellent. The reason I can't put Dusk as meta is because he has 4 defense base. I mean, Cassidy does too, but she has SIGs that make up for it. Dusk, not as much so, but Spear's in a good spot, and Orb is in a good spot. I mean, 6 Dex is good for Spear, but Orb doesn't really care about Dex. But his SIGs are workable, so he's in a good spot. Ember. Ember's solid. She's just held back by base 3 defense. Other than that, she's really good. Katars are good, and Bow is good. The signatures are alright. Bow and Sig is amazing, though. Ezio is excellent. I mean, Ezio has the best sword kit in the game. Sword neutral Sig is unjumpable, and is debatably better because it's better than Hattori neutral Sig because it grabs. Side Sig's fast and hits hard enough. Down Sig is just a utility Sig that can also spike when you need to when you're close to the wall. His Orb down Sig's pretty much useless, but his Orb side Sig's fast and hits hard and is long ranged, and neutral Sig is a confirm that also covers a good area. Can't go wrong with Ezio. It's just that no one really plays Ezio, that's the thing, but Ezio is good, I promise. Fate. Fate's an excellent pick because she's got flexible stats and flexible weapons. It kind of sucks that sidelight neutral sig on Scythe for Fate is actually jumpable if they jump the right direction. But other than that, she's really good. Nash. You'd be surprised, but Nash is meta. Definitely meta right now. Hammer's in a good spot. Spear's in a good spot. Nash has amazing stats. You don't really need Dex. I mean, what's the point of having Sarah neutral like True on Spear when you can literally have stats that let you just play like a fool and still win? So yeah, Nash is meta. We're technically in a Spear meta. Like imagine back then when Spear meta was around, but except back then Downlight on Spear hit grounded, but now even if Spear Downlight doesn't hit grounded, Spear is still in such a good spot because it's just untouched for so long since then. And like Nash's Sigs can kill an orange. I mean, they're not amazingly fast, but their knockback potential is insane. Hattori is probably the best of the solid picks. Super easy to use, acceptable stats. You'd wish she has more strength, but alas, gotta work with it. If she had more strength, she'd be excellent, but as of right now, she's just solid. I mean, you can't go wrong with Hattori. She has probably one of the best matchup spreads around. Isaiah. Isaiah's solid along the lines of Cross, but except slightly worse because you have low strength when you play speed stance. But other than that, his SIGs are actually pretty good. It's just that the weapon pairing is alright, but his stats are just. It's interesting, I'll give you that, but it's not great. Jae Yun. I mean, if you're playing Greatsword, Jae Yun's one of the best picks. Having high strength on sword and Greatsword is good, and the signatures are good too. Can't really go wrong with him. Jala. Jala's solid, but not the best in solid. Having 3 defense, but your speed not being super high is kind of a burden because you're not able to slip away and avoid damage as easily, so you're going to be getting hit pretty easily still if you mess up. And that's not going to help with low defense. But she has really good damage per second, though, and kills really early. So still solid. Jiro, solid. I mean, he's basically like the Scythe version of Hattori. Instead of like trade out the spear for the Scythe, and you have Jiro instead of Hattori. Same issues as Hattori, though. You have mediocre defense and mediocre strength. That's the issue. Otherwise, he would be better. Still solid, though. Koji, excellent pick. His SIGs are really good, surprisingly. Like, they're basic, but they're so good in a basic way. Sword is also a solid weapon, and bow is in a good spot right now. So his weapon pairing sets him up for good matchup spreads all around. I'd honestly put him above Diana just because sword's easier to use than blasters right now. But then that could also be my bias of losing to Zinker a lot in ranks. Core is honestly just. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna put Core as viable, but probably the best of viable. Now you're probably disappointed as to why I'm putting him in such a low tier, even though it's not bottom tier. Viable is kind of just meh tier. The reason why I put him here is because, sure, he has amazing off stage because Gauntlets and Hammer, and his signatures aren't half bad. Like Gauntlet down sig carries, and Gauntlet, like his entire Gauntlet sig is amazing. And his hammer down sig does 35 damage. I have a video about Core's hammer down sig, like the short video. But like aside from that though, Core's on stage potential is not that great. He has a lot of bad matchups, especially against Katars and like bow and like spear. Even lands. So yeah, even scythe too. There's just a lot of bad matchups when you're playing as Core when you're on stage though. So unless you're an offstage demon that can keep dragging people off stage, it's gonna be tough to prosper as a Core player. Like I should know, I fought 2,700 Elo Cores that barely only win against me only because they can read me on gauntlets. But like when that's not happening, they really struggle to get in. And Hammer does struggle in neutral if you can't get in too, so that makes sense. Anyways, moving on. Lin Fei's like bottom of solid because she just has bad stats when it comes to surviving and dishing out damage. But her signatures are good, and her weapons are amazing at thriving off of reads. I mean, yeah, I'll put her higher above Ember because, as Guichibu has proven, Lin Fei actually has a really high ceiling, and once you can attain that ceiling, she's amazing. So it's definitely so she's definitely one of the better solid characters. Loki, I'll put right behind Lin Fei. Loki's kind of unproven, uncharted territory, but he's got the same dex as Lin Fei. His signatures, his neutral sigs don't hit grounded, so that's worse than Lin Fei. But the side sigs are better, and you have Scythe and Katars, which both thrive on stage or off stage, so there's potential there. But not many people are playing Loki, so I can't really place him definitively, so I'll just put him here for now. Lucian. Yeah, I'll put Lucian as solid above Hattori. But, like, he still struggles killing. Like, that's the same issue as Hattori, so he's still solid. Just struggles killing, and Blasters got nerfed. But otherwise, his signature kit is really, really good. And Qatar is pretty good as a standalone weapon if you got the good sigs to back it up. So yeah, he's really good. He's just solid because low strength and blasters could be better. That's literally it. On to Magyar. I'd say Magyar is top of viable. He has the same issues as Core. Oh, I'm sorry. Magyar's agender, I believe. Magyar is a they, but anyways, they have the same issue as Core. Because Greatsword, debatable neutral. Hammer, debatable neutral. But you have amazing defense more than Core, so you can get back. And surprisingly, the signatures of Magyar are really good for getting back to stage. Like, if someone's clumsy and you gravity cancel a Greatsword neutral sig and they get caught by it, you're guaranteed to get back and you may even get a free kill. Like, that's happened to me before because I underestimated that sig. And Seiku's can really make Magyar work, so Magyar is definitely viable. It's just that you have to be really gifted with the weapons, and you have to deal with the stats. But the stats aren't that bad, so yeah. And Hammer's a pretty good pairing with Greatsword because if you do struggle with securing the kill with Greatsword, Hammer can get the kill. So there's that. It's just that you might struggle in neutral if you aren't familiar with a lot of things. Because you have matchups inherently against you. Mako, solid. Better than Arcadia. It's just that you'll really struggle killing if you can't land SIGs or reads. But other than that, you have amazing offstage, surprisingly. So yeah, there's that. Mirage. Mirage is an excellent pick right now. Spear's in good spot. Scythe surprisingly benefits from strength now. Yeah, because you can kill quicker. I mean, you have Spear to compensate for the bad matchups that you might meet when you're playing Scythe. And Mirage, having high strength on Spear for Mirage is amazing. Because any time you get the side light, downlight, Sayer read or recovery read on Spear, you're probably gonna kill someone really early, so that's definitely a boon for any Spear player. So Mirage is an excellent. Mordex. Yeah, Mordex is still excellent because he has really inflexible stats. A lot of good stances all around. Just put him here. Not much else to explain about him. Solid stats, solid signatures. Weapon combination, a bit specialized of a weapon combination, off stage heavy, read heavy, but you can make it work. Moonin. I mean, Moonin's viable. We've seen Asmodee make it work in the past. But Moonin really has an identity crisis. You don't know if you want to be a bow player or if you want to be a scythe player when you're Moonin. Because playing both, you really got to pick a path with Moonin stats. If you're playing bow, you pick defense stance. So that way you have 6 speed, 6 defense, 5/5. 6 dex, 6 dex, 6 speed for defense stance. The 6 dex allows you to have downlight ground pound on bow true. And then you have 5 strength and 5 defense to trade it out and live. But on the offhand, what if you want to play Scythe? Then you kind of want to get 7 dex, right? So you get dex stance. Then you're 4/4, 7/7, just like Jiro's defense stance. But then you're going to struggle with surviving and killing early. I mean, you still get the benefit of like the bow down like ground pound since you get 7 dex after all, but is it really necessary? So then you're just like, okay, I do technically want 7 speed to play Scythe optimally, but I do not want to invest too heavily and lose out on defense and strength by playing dex stance. So then the logical choice would be to find a compromise and middle ground and just play default stance, right? So then I have 4 defense, 5 strength, 6 dex, 7 speed. So I have 7 speed for the Scythe play, like a lot of good Scythe characters, but I still have 6 dex so I can do D-Light ground pound on bow, right? But except then you realize you're trading off utility stats so that you can have mediocre stats in other areas like defense. So then that really makes you wonder if all of this is really worth it. So that's kind of the thought process I have behind Moonin. It's always a tough choice all around to pick what skill set you want to have as a Moonin player. And as of right now, I am not even sure if Dex Stance is worth it on Moonin. But you guys can feel free to give Moonin some experimentation, and then we can finally bridge the gap on what stances are best for Moonin. Because I do see potential in Moonin being a really flexible choice for Scythe and Bow mains. It's just we need to put in some work and prove some theories. And also, Moonin's bow downsig is probably one of the best bow downsigs out there. And bow sidesig is pretty good for offstage players. And the Scythe kit is not bad. Scythe neutral sig is almost as good as Mordex. Actually, maybe even better because it catches the sidelight unjumpable read better than Mordex, right? And Scythe downsig on Moonin, it's kind of like Queen Nai downsig on Spear in a way. So yeah, it's just that you really got to pick the stat and stances properly on Moonin, or you are gonna be in for a uphill battle against a lot of legends that have low dex or like higher defense and strength. Queen Nai. Queen Nai is just viable. Top of viable. Having base 3 speed is such a liability that it cannot be ignored. I mean, you're probably gonna thrive with Queen Nai if you're like playing on World's End, which is that snowy map that has really small kill boxes. Like you'll thrive on that map, but like on like Demon Island, you're gonna struggle. The bigger the stage and the bigger the map and the bigger the kill boxes, the more you'll struggle as Queen Nai. And if you're up against a Scythe or a Gauntlets player that manages to get you off stage, good luck with that, man. But Spear and Katars is a good weapon pairing, though. And the SIGs hit hard. So you can't underestimate a Queen Nai, but at the same time, Queen Nai has glaring flaws that cannot be ignored. So Queen Nai is inviable. Moonin's probably best of viable, though. Nyx. Nyx is solid. It's just that Nyx is so hard to use properly. Scythe is easy, but like when you pair it with a complicated weapon, then then the character overall is hard. And Blasters is definitely a hard weapon. Nyx is not bad because there's some good signature confirms. Both neutral sigs are unjumpable off of their combo starters. And downsig on Blasters is amazing. But like Nyx isn't easy to use. So it's a blessing to have the defense, but you still have more trouble killing compared to other characters, and your weapons are not that easy to use, so I'll just put Nyx here. Onyx. Onyx is just solid. I'll put Onyx here along with Lucian. It's just the defense is so good with Onyx, though. Having high defense with weapons that just let you stare back to stage is really good because you can prolong your stock so well with Onyx. It's just that you might have trouble in neutral because Gauntlets and Cannon aren't well known for their priority. But if you can work with those issues, Onyx is solid. Orion. Orion is an excellent choice. Well-rounded stats. It's just that it's just an issue because you're just kind of incentivized to play strength stance because 4 strength is not amazing. So you kind of want to go balanced with Orion, or you want to go tanky with Orion with defense. But the signatures are good. The weapons are all right. Spear's good. Lance, all right. So yeah, I'll just put Orion's just kind of interchangeable with Bryn at this point. Petra. Petra's an excellent choice. Probably along with a Suri. Petra's good because you have high strength with signatures that are pretty solid to use in general. Gauntlet neutral sig is amazing. And the orb sigs have their uses. And side sig on gauntlets is fast. But yeah, you can't really go wrong with Petra besides her being a glass cannon. And if you want her to be balanced, then there could be better picks out there. But honestly, if you play defense stance Petra, she's basically like strength stance Tezka, so yeah, not much to complain. Ragnar. Ragnar's a solid pick. He's only not excellent because he's a little bit too balanced. The stats can't really be that amazing. I mean, you can make him tanky with 7 defense, but you don't really need the tankiness with his weapon combination. You want more strength. But you don't really need the dex, though, so that's kind of a waste of stats. But otherwise, his SIGs are really good with good force. Especially the neutral SIGs. And all the other SIGs have their uses. Can't go wrong with Ragnar. Solid. Rayman. Yeah! Rayman is an excellent pick, but not too amazing in the excellent tier, but still in the excellent tier. He's only higher than Ragnar because he starts off with 5 decks, so you can go more crazy with the stances. And people opt for 7 speed Rayman, but you can really go with any stance on Rayman and he'll be good. Also, his down sigs are really good, so there's that. And also, the skateboarding side sig on Axe is really annoying with those platform maps. And that's something that you can always keep someone on their toes about. Red Raptor. Red Raptor is an excellent pick, but bottom of the excellent pick because he's got a little bit too much dex for his own good. But the weapon combination is so solid with good SIGs that I can't ignore it. So he'll be at the bottom of excellent. And Ray Dish can make him work too, so it's also a proven fact that Red Raptor's an excellent pick. He's pretty easy, but he's still got a high ceiling, so can't go wrong with Red Raptor. Also, Boots neutral sig and Boots down sig on Red Raptor is probably the highlights. And Orb side sig too. Dang, a motorcycle. Reno. Reno is honestly... he's just solid along with, like, Cross. I mean, it's just that his SIGs are just too... his SIGs are good, but they don't hit hard enough. And they're not too fast either. They're just so average. He's got good confirms still with, like, sidelight into Ensig on Orb. But, like, there's just not too much that's remarkable about Reno. That's why he's not higher. His stats are balanced too, but they're not over the top about anything. So just solid. Sir Roland. I mean, Sir Roland is viable, but he's not amazing. Sir Roland got a much needed buff for his Lance side sig to make it faster, but the most critical issue about a Lance character is that you need a good anti-air. I mean, Sir Roland's Lance Neutral Sig, it covers a really good spot, but it's just so slow that you kind of have to use it preemptively to hit with it, or it's just gonna be predicted and missed, and then you're kind of screwed when people punish you. And also, Sword Side Sig is so niche that it's not even worth mentioning. And on top of that, Lance Down Sig hits like a truck on Roland, but it's so slow that it's also reactable. So yeah, you'd have to be a sword main to play Sir Roland. Like, you have to be a sword main and enjoy playing Lance as a secondary to enjoy Roland. Because Roland has an amazing sword kit with neutral sig and down sig. Those are really good. But like his Lance, not so much. And his stats, it's alright for Lance, but Sword could do better with more strength or more speed. So there's that. He's just viable. Scarlet. Scarlet is debatably, very debatably, in the bottom of excellent tier. I thought she was going to be a really strong contender, and to be fair, she kind of is, but not as much as I thought she would be. But I still think that she's a good character this patch because Hammer is a good weapon right now, and although Lance is not that great with the new movement techs, it's still compensated because of her downsig on Lance, covering a generous area and height. And on top of that, neutral sig on Lance hits grounded and aerial, so it's good for catching options when you need it to. And her sigs hit hard. And considering the fact that both of her weapons don't have grounded anti-air options besides signatures, it's good that her neutral sig on Hammer covers a good area. And Hammer down sig kills earlier than you'd expect, despite it being nerfed a long time ago. So yeah, still an excellent choice. It's just that she's just slow with movement speed. But if you can work with that, she's pretty good. And I'm not even being biased at all because I'm a Scarlet main previously, level 84 Scarlet, and I actually think she's still a good pick because of what I said earlier. Anyways, moving on. Sentinel. Sentinel is excellent. Whoever says that Sentinel's not excellent is lying. He's got amazing stats. Like Nash levels of stats. Like, the best thing going for Sentinel is stats and weapon combination. Katars can struggle killing if you can't read, but Hammer just kills easily. And the SIGs are so annoying, man. You can't go wrong with Sentinel. Excellent choice. And also, you can play off stage really well with his weapons, but you can still afford to play on stage since Katars has amazing neutral. So yeah, can't go wrong with you. 7. Call me crazy for this, but 7 is meta. Spear is officially meta this patch. And Cannon got buffed with the neutral air killing earlier. And on top of that, Cannon hasn't gotten any nerfs lately. And not only that, but like since we're technically in a spear and bow meta, having Cannon to counteract bow is kind of like a rock paper scissors thing going on right now. You've got Cannon to deal with bow, but you've got bow to deal with spear, and spear deals with cannon. So that's kind of the meta triangle right now that I'm thinking. And having these stats on 7 is amazing. High defense on 7, you can stare back with cannon to get to prolong stocks, but you have high strength so that all of your reads are going to be all that more brutal on your opponent. So you can't really go wrong with 7 other than having to get used to the low dex and the SIGs. Sidra. Sidra's in the excellent tier. If Sword was more of a meta pick, then she would be meta. But as of right now, I'll put Sidra here. The stinking anchor, Sword down sig anchor is so annoyingly brutal. And Sword neutral sig hits grounded on Sword and it covers such a huge area too. It's just Sidra's side sigs that are kind of questionable, but all the other sigs are amazing. The dreaded Cannonball end sig on Cannon is good too. Yeah, there's a lot of cheese involved with Sidra. So if you like cheesy picks, Sidra's for you. Taros. Believe me, Taros is still meta. You may not believe it, but Taros is still meta. Having having base 3 decks is such a blessing that auto like just that alone puts you in excellent tier automatically if you have 3 decks, I believe. And on top of that, even with his Sigs on Axe getting nerfed and his Hammer side Sig getting nerfed, Taros just has such good damage dealing potential and KO power that he's always going to be good unless they utterly change how he works. So yeah, he's still meta, but he's probably bottom of meta now. Since at this point he's so popular that you're probably developing a lot of counterplay against him now too. And I mean, he's also technically playing the two of the slower weapons. The only weapon being slower than Axe and Hammer would be Greatsword. Tezka. Tezka's also in the bottom of meta. The only reason being is that both of his weapons are short ranged. But like, if a Tezka can hit you, you better pray that you aren't getting red, because if you get red, you're probably going to get toasted. And kind of like Taros, both of his neutral sigs are just like easy spike buttons that you can just give people with when you're in a fix and need to make a quick comeback. Like, that's another reason Taros is so good. You have neutral sig on Hammer just to clutch you a comeback whenever you need it to when your opponent's careless. And Axe neutral sig can do it too. But anyways, back to Tezka. And on top of that, just play Strange Stance on Tezka. Can't go wrong with him. And also, Tezka does not deserve that many active inputs on his kit. Like, you are not Mordex, man. You are not him. But apparently you are really cracked for some reason, man. Thatch. He's just solid. Gonna put him below Ember. The only reason being is that he's got blasters, and even though he's got high strength, the defense really outputs his advantages. So I'll just put him here. He's still solid. And also his SIGs actually hit like a truck, so he's got that going for him. Thea or Thea. I'm gonna put her in the iffy. Worse than Vrax though, because the stats are so bad. Base 3 defense with base 4 strength is so terrible when you want to trade. You have to outplay your heart out to win with this character. I mean, she's fun too, but geez, so much work. I mean, her weapons are really good at easily winning neutral interactions, but you have to consistently win neutral over and over again to thrive with Thea. Otherwise, you are in for an uphill battle 24/7. Thor. Thor is an excellent pick right now. If you want to play Orb and you want to have good stats, play Thor. If you want Hammer and you want good stats, but you also want an easier weapon, play Thor. Like, Thor is that good. It's just that he's just underrepresented because His SIGs are kind of weird compared to a lot of characters, but they're good. Like, don't get me wrong, Thor's Orb Down SIG may seem kind of bad, but once you've experienced Ezio Orb Down SIG, you'll be glad you chose Thor. And also, Thor chucking his hammer with the hammer down SIG is amazingly strong. And his hammer side SIG is faster than you'd think, and stomp neutral SIG on hammer is true. So take advantage of that too. Olgrim. Olgrim's just in the excellent tier, but probably just worse than Scarlet, so he's at the bottom of excellent tier. He's just there because of his stats. Nothing else. Like, that's kind of what I was going at earlier. If you have, like, base 3D Dex, you're automatically an excellent tier, given how Dex works as of this moment. So, yeah. Not much to explain. If you want easy characters that you don't want to worry too much about misinputting stuff, play Olgrim. You might not have the best SIGs, but you should play Olgrim if you want an easy time. Vel. I'm going to put Val as top of solid. She's really well rounded. It's just that her weapons aren't in the best spots. Like, she's just average in literally every possible way. Not much to say about it. Her SIGs, they're good, but they're average. Her weapons, they're good, but they're average. The combination, they're good, but they're average. Like, unless her weapons are, like, in a meta spot, she's just gonna be average at this point, right? Vector. Vector is also bottom of excellent. The reason he's moving up in tier is because bow has become more of a common meta weapon for the meta now. And since Vector's got bow, he's shooting up there, especially since you can play 3 decks Vector. So yeah, he's up here. 6 strength, 6 defense, 7 speed, 3 decks Vector with bow is nothing to scoff at. He's got a good bow kit too. His lance is kinda bad. You really got to get used to playing that lance if you play Vector. That's the only thing keeping him down lower than he should be. But he's automatically an excellent because of his stats and that he has bow. Vivi. Vivi's an excellent. She's probably got the best aspects going for her for being a blaster character. So I'm gonna put her right here next to Mordex. And I'm gonna demote Ezio down to here. Yeah. Vivi, even after getting nerfed, her boots end sig is still ridiculous. Her boots down sig is still ridiculous. Her boots side sig is still great with a projectile. Everything about her is just really good. It's just that she's kind of a glass cannon with how she's designed with her stances. Otherwise, she's excellent. I mean, Diana, like, if you want an easy blaster character, you play Vivi. If you want a high ceiling blaster character that has more insane neutral, you play Diana. So yeah, there's that. Volkov. Volkov is solid, right below Val. I mean, he's got amazing cheese with like his axe side sig being like unreactable and also being able to have a variant that spikes. And axe neutral sig has a good anti-air. And also, his active frames on his scythe sigs are so crazy too. But like, he's got low speed going against him, and all that dex is surprisingly not helping him as much as you would think. So that's what's holding him back. But otherwise, he's a solid character. Like, the cheese is really holding him up right now. Wushang. I mean, Spear, if Spear is in a good spot, Wushang is in a good spot. Am I right? I'm going to put Wushang right here. Like, Wushang and Mirage are like interchangeable at this point. Just depending on whether you like Gauntlets or Scythe. Actually, Wushang has better stats. No, you can achieve the same stats with Mirage. It's just that the stats benefit Wushang more than Mirage, so I'll do this. Like, yeah. Can't go wrong with Wushang. Zol. Zol is solid. Like, it's basically at that point, if you want the defense, you play Onyx. If you want the strength, you play Zol. But Zol is slightly easier to use because you have Axe combined with Cannon, and you hit hard like a truck, so all those reads get a payoff. But otherwise, he's somewhat easy to play around in neutral, as long as you basically outmaneuver him. But Cannon down Sig, though, that's a wild card. Same with Axe neutral Sig. That can kill out of nowhere. But anyways, he's solid. Yumiko is top of solid. The only reason she should be excellent because she has bow and hammer, but she's only top of solid because her stats are base 4 strength and base 4 defense, and that's the only thing holding her back right now. But she's got amazing SIGs for the weapon combination, and both of her weapons are pretty meta right now. So yeah, there's that. Top of solid. And it kind of stinks that her neutral SIG on hammer got nerfs on the stun frames. Zariel. Excellent. Not much to explain because Zariel, they've got bow, which is meta weapon. Gauntlets is in a good spot as usual. The stats, kind of interesting, but 5 speed's really all you need. And having the defense lets you pull off the gimps easier. So yeah. I'll put Zariel above Petra here. You'd be surprised how many Zariels are upping the play rate right now. So many Devil Jins running around in the queue too. And boy oh boy, it's all fun and games until you get hit by a SIG from Zariel and then you just get annoyed. Like, side SIGs are fast on both weapons and they hit pretty hard. And also, conveniently, a lot of the SIGs spike. Imugi! Imugi is like the other choice compared to Jae-Yun. You either play Imugi or you play Jae-Yun most of the time if you play Greatsword. Amazing SIGs for Imugi. Can't go wrong with Imugi. They hit like a truck, and he survives to keep on fighting. And even with all the nerfs to his SIGs, they're still amazing. Greatsword side SIG is ridiculous. Greatsword down SIG is ridiculous. Axe neutral SIG is ridiculous. So many variables to worry about when you're fighting in a Mugi, it's insane. King Zuva. Not many King Zuvas. although he is starting to kick up in popularity due to some Twitter drama. But anyways, what is my opinion on King Zuba, you ask? Well, pretty simple, right? He's an excellent automatically because speed stands for him, puts him automatically to 3 decks. He'll have 3 decks, 5 speed, 6 defense, 8 strength, which is base Taro stats. You can't go wrong with that. I'm putting him in the bottom of excellent simply because he's uncharted territory and not enough representation is happening as of right now. But I know for sure he's an excellent pick. He hits like a truck, too. And now for our final legend to cover, it's Priya. And I would say Priya is solid. Because her signatures just seem overall more consistent than Ransom's. Like, Ransom's is cheesier, but Priya is more consistent. Like, if you're pulling off Chakram neutral sig on Priya, you know for sure you're gonna be able to use it when you're trying to get back. And you can know for sure you can use it to catch people and launch them the other way. Like, it's just way more reliable. And Sword is pretty reliable too. Okay, Ransom. Okay, Ransom does not deserve to be this low. Right here, next to Moonin. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my tier list and explanation of the tier list for Autumn Championship 2025 Brawlhalla 1v1s. This is me, Min, signing out. Hope you guys have a good one. Stay posted. I'll be posting more videos in the future.